So I saw something today that was a little bit worrying. I'm glad that I don't live in Michigan. If you do live in Michigan, I'm terribly sorry for your luck. But Michigan pronoun law is probably unconstitutional. By the way, probably is an understatement. It is 100% unconstitutional. So this bill has passed the House there in Michigan. So what this basically does is this will make it a felony for people to intimidate or threaten others by disrespecting their gender identity. And if you're shocked, well, so am I. If you're even more shocked that this passed, so am I. So this is something that actually came out recently, and this is wild to me. This is crazy. If you live in Michigan, holy shit. I would definitely fight this. I would definitely do everything that you can to, reverse this. Obviously, what I think is going to happen, right, this bill is passed and everything, so what I think is honestly going to happen is the Supreme Court's just going to strike it down because it's very unconstitutional, very obviously. And that's even what they kind of mention up here is it's probably unconstitutional. The truth is probably isn't even a word to describe it. It is 100% unconstitutional, and it will not be able to stand by itself, as you would expect and rightfully understand. Now, the fact that somebody decided to pass this and everybody else decided, yeah, that's a good idea, that is wild. I feel bad for anybody that lives in Michigan for this reason. This is absolutely wild. So the whole idea here is, right, it makes it a felony for people to intimidate or threaten others by disrespecting their gender identity. Now, what this says to me is if you get in somebody's face and you say you should go back to wherever you should be from, or, whatever it is, and you're saying something in somebody's face and you're making them feel unsafe by your actions and words, that does make sense to me. However, you have to understand something, which is that's not how this is going to work. Right, whether it's intended to work that way or not, and let's be honest, it's a Democrat state that has a Democrat House in it, and the truth is, it's not going to work like that. They don't have any intention of letting it work like that. The whole idea that behind this is that they're just trying to be good allies, getting a lot of attention, and then, the first time somebody says, hey dude, instead of, whatever it is, hey woman, despite being, like, hey man, great 5 o'clock shadow, love your beard, or whatever the hell it is, you misgender somebody, they're going to slap you with $1,000 fine every time you do it for the sake of just being able to. So that is how this is going to go down. It's not going to be for the extreme case where somebody gets in your face and is, yelling obscenities at you because of, your gender identity. That's not what it's going to be. It's going to be for the everyday, snowflake woke loser that gets hurt whenever somebody doesn't call them exactly what they want them to be called. Those are the people who are actually going to take advantage of this bill passing, and those are the people who are going to constantly get people fined and in trouble. And I mean, if a felony comes out of this, I would be livid. I don't think that it will happen. I don't think that it possibly could happen, just because, again, luckily our Supreme Court is pretty decent right now with the people that we have on there. Clarence Thomas would probably strike this down in a minute and not think twice about it because it's so incredibly obvious that it goes against our Constitution. So yeah, finding out that this is unconstitutional is, I think a third grader could tell you, yeah, that's unconstitutional. That's not going to fly. The fact that it actually ended up passing is wild. Right, so this is what I was talking about here. The fact that I can stand on a street corner and say all Jews should be sent back to the place, which I can do in America, does not mean that I can go up to a Jewish person and get in their face and say that they should be sent back to where they are from, right? There are two different things. You can have an opinion, you can voice your opinion, you can say it on, whatever platform will allow you to. You can say it to somebody, you just can't get in their face and do it, right? Because whenever you get in their face, what you're doing is it's more threatening. And so basically that isn't allowed, and I believe that is what this bill was initially targeted towards, or basically That's the Trojan horse of it, is that they're showing it off as this, like, hey, look, somebody might get in their face and, yell about their gender identity. And then, the horse comes in and it's like absolute losers that have blue hair that are pissed because you won't call them women despite the fact that they have a full beard and, whatever else. That kind of seems like the back end of it. That's actually going to happen. That's who's actually going to use this to their advantage to get people fined and put in jail and have felony charges and other charges brought against them. It's not going to be, it's not going to be this situation. Nobody's going to actually get in somebody's face. And if they do, then this law would actually make sense. But naturally, it's not really conservatives who do this anyway. As luck has it, it's a lot more liberal people, and I think this is going to be an interesting one to follow. However, I do think that it is going to be ruled unconstitutional by higher courts, or at least by the court in Michigan even. And I mean, truth be told, it should be. This bill was actually kind of folded into a massive bill, and as you can imagine, conservatives just basically said, like, no, we're good, we don't want to do it. And now people are like, oh, well, you want these people to be able to be ridiculed and stuff. And it's like, dude, I don't know about you, but I like free speech. I'm definitely a fan of free speech. And if I were to talk to somebody and I were to say a word that isn't, mind you, derogatory or a slur or anything of the sort, but I'm talking to somebody who looks like a dude, and I say, yeah, man, that would be awesome. And they start going off on me and like bawling because I've just shattered their worldview of themselves. I'm a delicate flower, like, I don't know about you, but I don't know if that should be a prosecutable offense, and I don't think that should be a felony charge, especially, not to mention any charge at all. I should be able to call whoever I want, whatever I want. And yes, I do mean like absolutely just the worst things imaginable. As long as I'm not threatening somebody, I should be able to say absolutely whatever I want with no consequences, because that's just freedom of speech. And mind you, I'm talking about people saying nasty things to me, nasty things to my family, nasty things to my friends. I'm not saying that I should be able to say whatever I want to whoever I want, but they can't say anything back to me. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that freedom of speech is absolute. You have absolute freedom. Well, to an extent anyway. Threats aren't going to be tolerated, but everything else, like racial slurs, they're not great. I don't support them, but I do 100% believe that somebody should be able to say something that they want. Now the further point of that is obviously if you call somebody something that they don't like and they don't like it enough and they're like, I'm going to beat your ass now. That's a whole different can of worms. But legally, you should be able to say whatever you would like as long as, it falls under the current laws that we have, being, you can't threaten somebody, you can't say fire in a crowded theater, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you now. What do you think about this absolutely insane bill that is passing the House in Michigan right now? This is going to be a very interesting one to follow and see what comes of it. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. This is the closest that we have gotten in a very long time to basically just not having freedom of speech. It's actually crazy to see this, and I didn't think that it would happen. I figured it would take 40 years from now for something like this to actually happen, but everything's kind of picking up right now, so it does make sense. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think will come of this? If you live in Michigan, what are your thoughts on this? Would you move? Would you decide to stay? How would you treat it? Let me know. Also, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share this video out there. That's how we get the news out there. That's how we get the truth out there. And check back very often, because we will be putting out tons of videos here coming up, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. There's a lot of news to cover. Make sure to check out our online store at theredmafia.com. We just released new shirts over there, and we'll continue to be releasing new shirts every single week. So you'll find something that you will absolutely love at our store, so go check it out. It'll also be linked in the description down below.